So in my island update for this week, I'm going to explain why we're going to be experiencing the busiest Easter ever if you're coming over to Mallorca on holiday. We're going to be looking at the key areas of complete saturation on the island, and I've got some facts and figures for you too, and also a few tips on how you can avoid the busiest areas in Mallorca during the holiday season. Plus, we're going to take a look at the public transport. We're going to head on over to the airport, we're going to see what that's like, and I have the all-important weather forecast for the week ahead. But we're going to start this video. I'm right in front of the cathedral here, just on the Parc de la Mar area of Palma, and this is going to be one of the busiest areas of the island over the Easter holidays, and it's not going to be helped by the weather either, because we're going to be experiencing a little bit of clouds and rain, and as you know, that means big crowds in Palma. But not only that, over the next 2 weeks, and I'm filming this on Friday the 11th of April, we are going to be welcoming in over 100,000 cruise passengers into Palma Port, which is just incredible. I mean, I can't believe these numbers, but I've pulled this data off a website, and I'm just going to run through a few facts and figures here on some of the days when we're going to be seeing the greatest amount of cruise passengers flowing into Palma's city centre. So on the 14th of April, we're going to be seeing the Allure of the Seas cruise ship coming in with 6,314 passengers. We have the Costa Toscana on the 15th of April with 6,338 passengers. We have Mein Schiff also coming in on the 16th of April with 4,000 passengers. We've got the Avia cruise ship coming in on the 18th of April with another 6,200 passengers. We've got the MSC Fantasia coming in on the 18th of April with 3,929 passengers. The Majestic Princess on the 19th of April with 4,227 passengers. But in this whole 2-week period, and this is just from the really big cruise ships, we're not talking about the smaller ferries or the smaller cruise ships. These super mega cruise ship passengers will be bringing in 105,000 plus passengers, which is going to have an incredible impact on the centre of Palma. Now, if you add this in together with a few cloudy days, and also the fact that the resorts are now starting to get quite busy because it's the Easter holidays, we've got plenty of families over here at the moment, we're going to be seeing on the cloudy day or on the showery day, a lot of holiday makers deciding to come into Palma City to come in sightseeing. Well, if you are arriving into Palma on the days that any of these big cruise ships are coming into the city, you're going to be seeing a very, very packed city. You're going to be having quite a busy time here, and I'm warning you in advance, it's probably not going to be a pleasant experience either. The restaurants are going to be packed, the shops are going to be packed, and if it's not raining, then just about all the main sites here are going to be extremely busy too. I am going to also just say a thank you to, I think it's called cruisedick.com, for the information as well about the arriving ships into Palma. I will drop a link to that website in the description text below. My main tip is if you are planning to visit Palma, check out when these big cruise ships are coming in, because of course with 6,000 people arriving on one day, you're going to find Palma to be absolutely packed. Not to mention it's also school holidays over here on the island. Not to mention as well that you've got holiday makers in the resorts. Now, looking over the stats from the airports, and I only have the stats here from February, we had 1 million flight passengers coming into the island during the month of February. Of course, that number is going to be greater in March, and it's going to be even greater over the Easter holidays. It's the first time in the holiday season that we're going to see a great number of people coming into the island. Don't forget the flights have opened up in regional airports all around Europe as well. So we've got a greater number of flights, and we can see them coming in over the bay. They're coming in every couple of minutes here. So Mallorca is going to be busy over Easter, and that is without a doubt. Regardless of what you've seen online, what news you've seen as well, you're going to have a pretty busy experience over here on the island. So what does that mean if you're coming into Palma City on a day when we have cruise ship passengers and also a cloudy day? Well, the first thing I'm going to say, like I've said, is that you're going to get lots of people coming in from the holiday resorts. If they can't go to the beach or to the pool, they'll be coming into Palma to go sightseeing, which is going to inflate the numbers of people in the centre of Palma. The restaurants are going to be absolutely packed. I'm going to warn you now that a lot of the restaurants are struggling finding staff to work for this summer, simply because of affordability of getting staff here and paying staff an affordable salary to allow them to rent the really highly priced apartments as well. wherever they're trying to live on the island. So just bear in mind that we're seeing job ads all over the place here for wait staff, for chefs in restaurants, and restaurants are struggling to find people. So you're going to have a wait on your hands, not just for the queuing people for the tables, but also in terms of getting good service. So please be patient, and please just maybe hold back on being the keyboard warrior to leave a rubbish review on TripAdvisor. If you see staff struggling, it's just going to be the way it is. I'm going to say it straight away, that's how it's going to be over here in Mallorca this summer, with the amount of people coming into the island. If you are visiting Palma during a time as well when you've got a cloudy day, you've got loads of tourists in, and you've also got the cruise ships in as well, there are places where you can get like a quieter experience on the island. Check out a video that I'm going to make as well after I film this, and I'll pin it in the description text below, about maybe a slightly quieter experience in Palma on a busier day. And I'm just going to show a few areas around the old town as well where you can escape to as well, just to get out of the main squares. I also have a walking tour as well, a self-guided walking tour, which will take you to the main areas of Palma Old Town too, if you want to follow that route, just to make your trip a little bit easier too. But what about other areas of congestion on the islands over the Easter holidays? Well, the next place I'm going to point you in the direction of is Sóller and Port de Sóller. These two areas on the island have historically been extremely busy, and no more so than this year actually. And I was in Port de Sóller just yesterday. It was packed, and the school holidays haven't even started over here yet in Mallorca, at the time of filming this video at least. I would say if you are expecting to go over there, expect that wooden train to be packed, expect the trams to be extremely packed too. You're not going to have that quiet, peaceful experience over in Sóller or Port de Sóller over the Easter holidays, not by any means. And you're going to have pretty much the same experience in the restaurants too. Also as well, we are in cycling season. It's peak cycling season time over here on the island. The old towns and the villages and little roads that wind their way around the island are packed full of cyclists. I was up in Daya just yesterday. It took me forever to get there, and you know, every few yards you're caught behind cyclists on the road. So I'm going to have some more content coming out on the channel about how to drive safely on the islands, particularly when there's cyclists around. I'm also going to have content for you as well if you are a cyclist and you're coming over here on a cycling holiday as well. I've seen some horrific driving, not just by those in hire cars or by locals, but I've also seen some really dangerous cycling as well, and you know, I don't want to see anybody getting hurt over here. So watch out for that video, subscribe to the channel and hit that notifications bell too. But what else are we going to be experiencing over here in Mallorca over the Easter holidays? Well, still staying on the theme here of a little bit of saturation, of a little bit of busyness, I want to make you aware of the public transport. Buses are running very, very full at the moment. It's not going to get any better as we go on into the summer. I have heard that they're laying on more buses on really busy lines from now actually. Something pops up on my social media from the transport networks. Busy bus lines, we're going to see slightly more buses, but I don't think it's going to cope with the amount of people that we have over here at the moment on the island visiting. If you do want to know how to use the bus, I have a video all about that. I'll drop a link to that in the description text below too. Don't forget, if you're using the red and yellow buses, use your bank card, tap on the bus when you get on, tap off the bus when you get off, and pay with cash if you're using the Palma EMT blue and green buses too. It's also going to be a time as well, it's going to be very, very busy over at the airport. Now we've got all the regional flights back running again. From wherever you are in Europe, we're seeing more and more flights coming in every single day. We're seeing more and more flights coming over the bay as well. So if you're travelling out of Palma Airport, leave good time for your journey. Make sure you get to the airport for 2 hours before your flight. There could be queues at security because of course we'll all be travelling as well over the holidays. Residents will be travelling as well as all the holiday makers too. I've got no idea what border control is going to be like over in Terminal A flying to the United Kingdom. I will be making that flight, so as I said, subscribe to the channel if you want to see what my experience is like flying to the UK. But also over at the airport as well, don't forget all the red and yellow TIB buses are running, the public buses are running out to resorts, which are really quick and efficient as well. They run during the daytime. I think the last bus is around 11:30ish at night, and there's there's also plentiful supply of taxis, so you don't really need to worry actually at this time of year about getting to your resort. It's very quick and easy, and like I said, there are plenty of taxis too. So what about some good news going through Easter? Oh my goodness, there has to be some good news, and there is good news because we do have some of the holiday attractions have now opened up, and there's plenty to see and do on the island. Whether you're here on a rainy day or a sunny day, don't forget, if you're out and about, you're going to see some more attractions open. I do have some more content about this. Check out my Mallorca in April video. I'll also drop that in the description text below, as well as some ideas for things to do as well on the island. If you're coming to Palma City as well, it might be quite a nice idea to book the city sightseeing bus as well. It means you can just jump on that bus and hop off at all the key sites too without too much stress. So that's quite a stress-free way of seeing the city for yourself. But also don't forget that we are entering Holy Week over here in Spain. It's Easter week, which means the start of the Easter parades as well. So on the run up to Easter Sunday, so starting from the Monday, we're going to see the practice Easter parades taking place every single evening in the city, in Palma City. Go and check them out if you're around, but remember, this is not a tourist attraction. It's marking obviously a very religious occasion. And I will also say as well, I've mentioned it previously, just be aware of your surroundings. If you do see some elderly ladies sitting on benches, don't just jump in front of them with your camera to get an Instagram reel or photos. Just be respectful and don't try and block anyone's view who are sitting on benches and who are unable to stand as well. Just have some respect for the locals if you're over here watching those parades. Okay, so finally, what about the weather forecast for the week ahead? Well, it's looking like not the best weather for the first part of the Easter holidays, for Easter week. We're going to be seeing a mixture of sunshine and clouds and showers as we move on into the week. It's also not going to be as warm as it has been as well. We're going to see a little bit of a dip in the temperatures. We're going to be seeing highs of around 21 degrees Celsius, but evenings are still very cool over here, so make sure you bring clothes for going out in the evening too. I just have to say as well, most of the restaurants are now open in the resorts. You're going to find a lot more things open. If you're out and about looking for meals, you're going to find plenty of supply, so plenty of places to eat and drink around the island too. If it is a very rainy day as well, this weather forecast keeps changing on almost a daily basis. If it is a rainy day, I also have a video all about things to do in the rain in Mallorca. I'm going to drop that also in the description text below as well. Basically, this video has everything that you need for your Easter holiday over here, so make sure you check out that content so you know what's going on the island. However, as we head on towards the Easter weekend, things look like they could be clearing up a little bit. We're looking like we're going to be seeing a little bit more in the way of sunshine. There'll still be clouds, there will still be risk of showers. It's not quite summer yet, and that's reflected by the temperatures too. So if you are packing to come out, bring a big mix of clothing. Bring a light jacket. If I was travelling, I'd probably bring my scarf as well. But bring a big mix of clothes, and also maybe bring some trainers if you're coming into Palma, if you're walking around as well, if you plan on doing lots of walking too. It's also a great time of year as well to do some of the coastal walks, to get up into the mountains as well, to get up into the Tramontana mountains, do a little bit of hiking. But as I've always said in my previous videos, if you are going out, either hiking or cycling, let someone know your route and also let them know when you're back too. Okay everyone, I hope this video is going to help you with your holiday if you're coming over the Easter period. It's just a warm up to the summer. It's going to be interesting to see how busy it's going to be in the city as we move on throughout the course of the week. But appearing both here and here on YouTube, you're going to find a couple of videos to help you out with your holiday. I will be back with more content during the course of the week, so check out the channel as well. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. And don't forget, you can find me in the Facebook group and on my Instagram, also called Mallorca Under the Sun. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Goodbye for now.